Think about this. I want you to think about this. Have you ever wondered how the water we drink ended up being called H2O? Why did scientists call this substance H2O? I know during your basic science class, your teacher might have told you that H is for hydrogen and O is for oxygen. But did you know that these two gases can be crazy? Hydrogen is flammable, which means it can explode when ignited.
Watch this.
No way.
This is why it is used to power a rocket. Oxygen supports combustion, which is the burning of a substance. How can these two gases be made up of the substance that we drink every day? That is the science of chemistry, which I'm going to be explaining into this video. I'm going to be carrying out some experiments that you can also do at home, breaking water into those two gases, proving it to you that water is truly made up of hydrogen gas and also oxygen gas. But before we talk about that, let me quickly explain some of the things that you don't know to you. Everything around you, your clothes, your food, the air that you breathe, is made up of something called matter, including the water that you drink. This matter can be in different forms. This is called state of matter. For example, if you give me an ice, as a chemistry teacher, I'm going to call this solid water. And if you decide to drink your ordinary water, this is water in its liquid state. What if you boil water and everything disappears, which means it's turned into gas? This is called steam or water vapor, which means water in a gaseous state. Regardless of how water can form different states, it is still going to be made up of the same tiny particles called atoms. I know what you are thinking about. What exactly is an atom? Imagine a bracelet. A bracelet is made up of beads. Each bead are the smallest particle of a bracelet, which means a bead is an atom of a bracelet. Maybe you don't understand that illustration. Let me give you another one. If I decide to break a chalk into two pieces, it means I have the same chalk in two places. But what if I decide to keep breaking this chalk until I have the smallest possible particle of the chalk? This particular substance is still a chalk because this substance makes up a chalk, which means this is an atom of a chalk. Atoms are the building block of everything. Even the water that you drink is made up of atoms. Now, this is where it gets interesting. There are over 100 different types of atoms. Scientists call these elements. Example is your carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus. Some of these elements exist in nature. For example, carbon can be found in your diamond and graphite. Water is made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is a flammable gas, which is why it is used to power a rocket. Oxygen is the gas that you breathe in, which also supports combustion, which is the burning of a substance. Atoms don't like existing alone. They love it when they pair or bond with another atom. For example, water molecule is made up of two atoms of hydrogen bonding with oxygen atom, forming water molecule. How do we know this? How do we know that the composition of water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen gas? This brings me to a simple experiment. This is something you can try at home. This experiment breaks water into its composition, which is hydrogen and oxygen gas. At the end of this experiment, we are also going to be proving or testing if these two gases are actually hydrogen or oxygen gas. In order for us to carry out this practical, what are those materials that we are going to need? The first one is water, which we are going to be splitting into hydrogen and oxygen gas. We are also going to be needing pencil. What is the work of this pencil? The pencil is going to act as our electrode. If you remember in chemistry, under electrolysis, we talk about electrode. Electrode is the pole at which electric current is going to flow through into our water. So, if you study your chemistry, you are going to know that pencil contains graphite, which means we are using carbon as electrode. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. So that is the function of the pencil. We also have a 9-volt battery, which is going to serve as our source of electricity. The last one is our baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate. What is the function of baking soda? Baking soda is going to allow electron to flow in our water. If you don't have baking soda, you can also use your normal cooking salt, which is sodium chloride. But it is advisable to use baking soda. Why? Because baking soda is safer than sodium chloride. Sodium chloride can have chlorine gas, which is poisonous to the human body, but sodium bicarbonate or baking soda is safer than the cooking salt, which can contain chlorine gas. So the first thing is to pour your liquid water into your beaker or any container that you want to use. Add your baking soda. Remember, I told you the function of baking soda. Baking soda is going to allow electron to flow in your water. It's going to ease electron flow in water. So the next thing I want to do is to insert my electrode, which is my carbon electrode. My carbon electrode is my 2 pencil, and then is to actually pass electric current by placing my 9-volt battery on top of the 2 carbon electrode. The moment you place your battery on your pencil, you are going to observe 2 gases rushing out from the pencil. One of the gas is hydrogen gas and the other one is oxygen gas. How can you know this? It is very easy. In order for you to know the gas, which is hydrogen, from the one that is oxygen, check the chemical formula of water. The chemical formula of water is H2O, which means hydrogen is twice that of oxygen. So, take a closer look at the beaker and tell me in the comment section below which among this pencil have much gas than the other one. You are going to decide by yourself which one is hydrogen gas, at the same time which one is oxygen gas. But remember this, hydrogen gas is going to have much bubble than oxygen gas. This is because hydrogen molecule is twice that of oxygen molecule from the equation of reaction of water. One last tip that will help you know hydrogen gas in case you are trying this experiment at home. Hydrogen gas is going to be liberated from your cathode. Your cathode is the negative pole of your battery, which means the pencil at the negative pole of your battery is the one that is going to liberate hydrogen gas. So let's move on to the next aspect of our experiment, which is collecting the 2 gases and testing which one is hydrogen and which one is oxygen gas. I'm going to be very quick about this. The reason why I created EduSacademy.com is to help your child or any science student learn those topics in chemistry that their teacher could not make them understand due to several circumstances. This lesson covers calculation, theoretical, and practical aspects of chemistry. Chemistry is not difficult. The problem is the resources that your child is learning from. Visit our website today to get quality education at a very cheap price.